My name is Lori Mangum. I'm the content director at YesLouisville.com. I'm documenting my health journey to go skydiving. I'm not on a mission to make my body fit into anyone else's mold. I love my curves, but I do need to tame them a bit so that I can be a better me. Follow along at YesLouisville.com. Hey everybody, so it's been a couple weeks since we caught up, and that's because I have been on the road and in the air and on boats and kind of a little bit of everywhere. So I took the week to be with my family at Douglas Lake, which is in northern Michigan, maybe about 30 minutes from Mackinac Island. And we did that the week of 4th of July, and it was a really nice little getaway. And then I had a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday before I went with 3 of my very best friends in the world to spend several days, first in Havana, Cuba, and then in Key West. We've been talking about I'm going out of town soon, and I needed to prepare for potential setbacks that were kind of out of my control. My goals before I left were to make smart food decisions. So, try things. If it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to eat this amazing thing that they only have in Cuba, then obviously I'm going to do that. And I was, of course, going to have a mojito in Cuba and some land shark in Key West. Hello, Parrot Head, Jimmy Buffett world. I have to do that. But, don't choose the thing that's the maybe most decadent and delicious but really worst for you on the menu. Like, try to make better decisions about ordering when you're out, because the majority of the meals will be out just by default. And then be active. So I knew that we were going to be able to do a lot of walking, especially in Cuba, and we did. We sweated profusely, sweated so bad we had to come home sometimes in the middle of the day and change clothes because we were soaking wet. It's that hot there. And so we were on the move, and we definitely were very active in Cuba. And then in Key West, the plan was, be in the pool, do some swimming, pass the lifeguard test of treading water for 15 minutes and all of that kind of stuff. Do whatever I can to maintain some kind of activity, even though I would not have a gym at my disposal. And very little opportunity just in terms of space and weight. Honestly, I wasn't going to take any kind of dumbbells or anything with me because I was carrying on, and I had a very small bag to be able to work with for 2 weeks almost. So making it work with activity, so making good food decisions, making it work with activity, getting creative, and then drinking a crap ton of water. Because if I have learned nothing in this journey, it is how important it is to have a ton of water in your body. It's like when you get used to drinking that much water and then you suddenly don't have it, it's really obvious. I can tell in my mental clarity, I can tell in my energy level, I can tell in how my skin looks and feels. I can tell in how I sleep even, and how I digest. I mean, everything I can tell if I'm not having enough water. Or if I'm maybe drinking plenty of water, but I'm also having too many diet sodas or cups of coffee or something like that during a day. So drinking a ton of water was important there too. I knew that in Cuba water would be an obstacle because you can't drink their water at all, ever. Local people don't even drink the water. They use bottled. And so I knew we were going to have to find a way to stock up on water, and we did. Fortunately, everybody else that I went with, water was really important to them too, especially my friend Andrew. He probably hydrates better than anybody I know. He drinks a ton of water all the time. And it's not like a health mandate per se. He just really loves water, and he just really can tell the difference in his body, like I was saying. And so he chooses to drink a ton of water. So he was kind of the driving force of finding the water and keeping it stocked. And I'm really grateful for that because that helped me, just be mindful all the time and stay on track with that. It was also easier to eat well in Cuba because everything is, it's just hardly anything is processed. Unlike here, where the majority of the store is processed stuff, because of the structure of their government, they are on rations for most things. So everything from soap and water to butter and eggs and meat. They don't have open supermarkets that you can just go and buy whatever you want whenever you want to with the money that you have. They have markets. Those markets have mostly a super limited amount of non-perishable things and condiments and then alcohol. But I didn't ever go into one of those markets and see produce or see meats and cheeses and things like that. There were some street vendors selling things like garlic and lime and green beans and mangoes, and so there was a limited opportunity to get extra of things like that on the street. But by and large, what they're able to have is regulated very strictly, and their earning potential is also super limited in most respects. And so you have what you have, and you don't have a whole lot of opportunity to get ahead and do more for yourself or for your family, and that includes what you eat. And so there aren't a lot of imports, of course, because Cuba doesn't have those types of trade relationships with the majority of the world. So the treats and things that were available were very limited, and so just by default, we didn't really eat much processed food. Almost all of my meals were some black beans, some rice, and I chose pork as a protein. They also had chicken available and fish, and some steak in some places, some beef rounds, beef tips, that kind of thing. But pork was the cheapest protein, and it's just because they have access to a lot of that there. And so we went with pork a lot, and it was delicious and seasoned very well. That you could tell, this is real food. There's just not anything else added. There's no garbage in this. It's just straightforward. And that went for breakfast too. We had a lady named Lourdes, who was one of the 3 people who managed our apartment that they rent full-time to tourists as the income for 3 families. And for 7 CUCs, which is essentially $1, it's the tourist currency in Cuba. There are 2 currencies, one for nationals and one for tourists, and you're not allowed to use the national if you're a tourist, or take it out of the country because they don't want to mint any more of it, so they keep it there to circulate within only, which is interesting. But for $7, essentially, Lourdes came in one morning, and she made us a spread. And fresh pineapple, mango, watermelon, scrambled eggs, ham and cheese, this really nice pico de gallo with chorizo in it that was warm, fresh breads, a regular bread and a sweet bread with raisins, Cuban coffee, which y'all think we got good coffee in the States. There is no place that I've ever had coffee in the United States that holds a candle to Cuba. And there's actually nowhere that I have been in Europe or in Asia. Asia's not really known for coffee, but there's not even anywhere in Europe, and that would include like Italy, where I had better coffee than in Cuba. So delicious. And it's something special. I really hate that so many people will maybe never get a chance to see this place and experience their culture because they might have a horrible government situation, but they are a beautiful people and they have a lot to share with the world, and I wish that the world had a chance to get to know Cuba. So anyways, it was great to be there, and it's easier to stay on track there. Flash forward, we go to Miami, flew to Miami from Havana and rented a car and drove the, what is it called? The highway that goes over the ocean. I'm sure it's a very simple name. It's like the overwater or overseas highway. That's it. Okay. Overseas highway, which is like 3 hours from Miami to the very south, which is Key West. We made it a whole almost week in Cuba, developing nation, socialist state, without any stomach issues. And then the very first meal that we eat in Florida which was actually at like a yacht club. That just happened to be the only restaurant that we were passing when we were hungry right then. That wasn't a tourist trap with crazy amounts of cars and a horrible wait. We three of us got food poisoning. We ordered the same entree, and it was this gorgeous, there's a picture actually right beneath now. It was wonton nachos with like pickled jalapeno, ginger, Thai sauce, like that spicy Thai sauce that's so good with the chilies in it. Ahi tuna, which was the culprit, we're pretty sure. And some cabbage and other yummy. It was delicious and it was beautiful. But within a couple of hours, we were all like, ooh, and then like, forget about how much toilet paper we had to use. I'm sorry, that's an overshare, but hello, American food wrecked us the first time we ate it. And then, we did our best the rest of the week, but the options available in our country to make good food choices are just really hard sometimes, especially in a tourist area where that's not really a value because they just want people to, eat, drink, be merry. You're on vacation, nothing counts. Woohoo! So I had more beverages in Key West. I went on a Jimmy Buffett bar crawl, almost by myself, but met a local friend who ended up being awesome and showing me around. So, I definitely drank calories in Key West. I tried to, I had spinach wraps instead of white bread sandwiches in the condo for quick lunches when we were just chilling at the pool. I did have some chips here and there, but very little. I bought, some sugar-free snacks at the grocery for sitting around the pool, etc. And, really tried to minimize what I was doing that was yucky there. But I definitely think, at the end of the week, I didn't feel like I had blown anything crazy because I did stay active and I did drink a lot of water. And I did try to, I enjoyed my vacation. I wasn't going to withhold completely because, you get one vacation a year. So I was going to enjoy it, but, in moderation. But I didn't have an opportunity to weigh myself the whole time I was there. And there weren't scales anywhere, unless you count at the dock. And I was not going to step on the industrial scale that they use for the lobster catch for the big fish. But anyways, when I got home, it was the wee hours of the morning on a Sunday. And I was like, I'm going to go to bed and get up the next morning. And which, I weigh myself in the morning because it's my true weight before I eat anything during the day or wear anything or do anything else. So I stepped on the scale that next morning, and to my, surprise and excitement, I only gained an even 1 pound, which I think means I lost in Cuba and then gained back and +1 in Key West. But either way, I'm going to call that a vacation victory when it comes to this Fit to Fly journey. We are setting the official date this week. We've had a little schedule complications with my brother, whose summer to fall schedule gets a little bit crazier when his students come back to the university. He's a track and field athletic coach, athletic trainer, not coach. And so when his students come back in August, it gets a little nuts. So we had some scheduling stuff, but we're going to set the official date and book it this week, and we're shooting for the first full week of August. So that means that I have, just shy of a week and a half to finish my goal. And at the time of this recording, I'm a little less than 5 pounds to go. So I think I can do it. And I'm really excited to go skydiving. And it's going to be scary as hell. But I'm going to jump out of a plane because I can, because I earned it. So anyways, I'll give you guys another update before then. And then hopefully, 2 from now will be the actual out of a plane footage that we'll be sharing with you guys from Skydive Kentucky. So have a great weekend and week next week, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.